everyday inclusion and motherhood. Let's get into it. I'm Dr. Ashley Gaddy Robbins, and I am a scholar, a speaker, but most importantly, I am a mother. I am an ama to four beautiful girls. And so my ears on more on alert now when I am out and about because my motherhood sense, my motherhood identity really allows me to be more keen and in tune to things that I'm listening to. My research also focuses on the power of Black motherhood and the ways in which Black mothers resist against oppression and barriers that are around them. But everyday inclusion is so important when it comes to this identity and this impact because literally millions and millions of people are being influenced and shaped by their parents, their mothers, even more specifically. And so the other day, just yesterday, I was having lunch and these two moms were having, you could tell they were having their vent session. They needed time away from their children. They needed to see each other and they needed to just vent about how motherhood is going and what life is right now. And I do not blame them. If you are a mom, then you understand these spaces are so very important for us to just let it out. But as they were talking about another parent, another mother that usually does not come and speak whenever she drops her child off or picks her child up. They said that this mother just, they pull up, they send a text to their child that they're outside, and their child says goodbye. They get with their parent and then they leave. And so that was really bothering them because they were like, this parent, they never speak to anyone. They're antisocial is the word that they use. They're not trying to make friends with anyone. They just come and pick their child up. And then they said this key thing that made my ears go, ooh, we really need to be thinking about how we're speaking and how we're thinking about inclusion in our everyday lives. Because one mother said, I know our neighborhood is intimidating. And if you were living in an apartment with two kids, then it probably is intimidating. And I said, whoa, 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 whoa. So let's pause this frame. Let's break this down. One of the practices that I teach on or that I train on is this aspect of pausing the frame and asking what else could be true with this scenario or with this person, right? And so what's happening here is we have this mother who feels a certain way because they feel that the other mother or the other parent is not trying to be friendly or trying to make community. And they clearly also know that there is an identity difference in class, right? There is identity difference in where in which they live and where they are housed. Now, this is a shameless plug. If you want to go learn more on gentrification, please check out episode 3 of season 2 of Dr. Ama's series on YouTube, because there's probably some things happening around gentrification right there. But let's go ahead and come back to talk about we understand these two things to be true. But do you ever stop and think about what the person, the other mother, could be thinking about? Let's play with this idea of intimidation for a second. Do you understand? Have you stopped to consider what it does feel like for someone who is in an apartment, who has two children living in an apartment, to one, come with the terms of who their child is making friends with? We don't talk about this a lot, but the fact that who our friends make friends with is something that parents really put a lot of thought into. We want our children to be with people who are friendly and kind, who like them, but they're also connected to other identities. And in this case, we know for sure in this conversation that there is a class identity, a class difference. So when your child comes home and they're saying, "Hey, I'm friends with this person and they live in this neighborhood," as a parent who lives in an apartment, you may automatically go, "What does this mean?" So that's the first thing. That's the first thing that we need to consider about what else could be true for this parent. Then they have to then drop their child off in this neighborhood with people that they may not be in community with, with people who are very different than them. The second thing that we should consider is this idea of in group and out group. With the moms that were speaking at lunch, with the community and school and area and neighborhood that they were speaking about, they were very much in the in group. The in group are people that we feel a connection with, that we have a very deep tie to, whether that be an experience or identity. The out group is people that we usually see ourselves different from. So conversations are more artificial, they're more superficial, they're more surface level, right? There's not that deep connection because there is a difference. And so this parent, the parent who is dropping off their kid, is very much in the out group in this situation. And when you're in the out group, oftentimes you are othered. And when you are othered, you are treated as othered. So it's very important to stop and consider what this experience of dropping their kid off in your neighborhood that's intimidating, that's affluent, what could that mean for that other mother? There could be fear, there could be distraction, there could be nervousness, there could be shame, there could be guilt. There are a lot of things that are coming up in this parent understanding that they are in the out group. And when you are in the out group, you know it, you can feel it very much. So these two things should be considered in conversations when mothers are having conversations around other mothers or other parents. Because it may take a lot for that mom to just drop off her kid, let alone for her to have to build up the courage to muster to come into your home, try to make conversations, try to make friends, understanding there is a major class difference. What are some things that we could be doing as mothers as we practice everyday inclusion? Well, one, we can be doing this practice. We can be asking the question about what else could be true and trying to think about another perspective. But we should also turn the light on ourselves. If we are the ones in the in group, chances are there are more of us. Chances are there is a deeper community. What can we be doing to ensure that people in the out group are brought in or seen as visible? What could we be doing to make communication with this mother? What could we be doing to ensure that there is a bond and a connection in our motherhood, even though there are class differences? What could we be doing to learn a little bit more about where this mother and child live in the community and how we can get involved? Ways in which we can begin to break down these barriers between in groups and out groups on a personal level so that we can be connected. These are the things that we need to be doing when we are in the out group, when we are in the in group, excuse me. When mothers can come together and spend their time and energy on practices of everyday inclusion like this is what we can spread to our children. This can begin to dismantle thoughts of us versus them when it comes to mom friends, because that trickles down to kid friends. And that's when we see friendships start to diverge at the middle school and high school level. So, practices of everyday inclusion and motherhood are so important because they can literally impact our future generation. So, please ask what else could be true and think about how you can be playing a part of building community and bringing tighter bonds. Peace.